You're listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Sunday the 17th of May, 2026. It is 58 days after the spring equinox. It is 35 days before the summer solstice. In today's episode, new blooms, the stock exchange, sports on TV, a desegregation milestone, ancient seacraft, and more. The sun rises today at 5:37 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:52 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:08 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:40 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 9:19 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute 51 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 1% full at midday. The moon rises today at 5:44 a.m., and then it sets at 9:50 p.m. The moon reaches its monthly perigee today at 9:48 a.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the early morning, low tide, 5:11 a.m., minus 9 centimeters. Approaching midday, high tide, 11:28 a.m., 1 meter 62. In the evening, low tide, 5:16 p.m., 9 centimeters. At night, high tide, 11:44 p.m., 1 meter 98. In our shared realm of plants and animals, all across the neighborhood, rose bushes have suddenly burst into full bloom in the last couple of days, harbingers of spring reaching its climax as we warm into the summer. The cottonwood trees have also begun their annual shedding of seeds. Each tiny seed is encased in a tiny ball of fine silky filaments, and they drift down into the streets like snow. In Socrates Sculpture Park, the central grove, which hosts many large cottonwoods, is carpeted in white. The seeds stick to your clothes, so after a walk in the park, you emerge coated in a dusting of white. It's amusing to see them sticking to the wet noses of dogs. Commemorations. On this day in 1792, 24 New York merchants and brokers gathered under a buttonwood tree and signed a pact to form the association that is now the New York Stock Exchange. The so-called Buttonwood Agreement was a response to a financial panic that had resulted from unregulated trading. The men agreed to form a closed association with fixed broker fees in order to restore confidence in the market. The buttonwood, an American sycamore, stood by tradition in front of 68 Wall Street, and it remained there until it was uprooted in a storm in 1865. An American sycamore has been planted in front of today's stock exchange in memory of the agreement. On this day in 1939, the first sporting event to be televised in the United States took place. It was a collegiate baseball game. The Columbia Lions hosted the Princeton Tigers at what is now Robertson Field, near Spuyten Duyvil at the northern tip of Manhattan. In a doubleheader, the Tigers bested the Lions 8-6 and then 2-1. NBC used a single television camera and broadcast the game nationwide on its experimental station W2XBS. There were fewer than 400 television sets in the nation at the time. A momentous anniversary. On this day in 1954, the United States Supreme Court handed down its unanimous decision in Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. Racial segregation in public schools was ruled unconstitutional. On this day in 1970, the papyrus boat Ra II departed Morocco on its epic voyage across the Atlantic. The vessel was the brainchild of the Norwegian ethnologist Thor Heyerdahl, who had long argued that pre-modern peoples had been able to make transoceanic journeys. Heyerdahl had noted that boats made of reed had been common in both ancient Egypt and in the Americas. In his first attempt a year before, his boat Ra I had been assembled by craftsmen from Lake Chad, but the boat had foundered partway along its journey. Ra II was built by 4 Aymara Indians from Lake Titicaca. Heyerdahl, accompanied by an international crew of 7, reached Barbados 57 days later. They had proved a papyrus boat could sail the high seas. Finally, today is the 73rd Annual Norwegian Day Parade, and it will take place in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. It begins at 1 p.m. and follows 3rd Avenue and then 5th Avenue. There will be traditional costumes, Viking longboat floats, and marching bands. Today is Constitution Day in Norway, and Bay Ridge was once a dense neighborhood of Norwegian Americans. Old-timers still remember buckets of pungent lutefisk ripening on the fire escapes. Happy Constitution Day to our Norwegian friends and neighbors. And that is the Observatory, Sunday the 17th of May, 2026.